Hi, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the progress we've been making, and that's with the Library and Archives Canada Initiative for Equitable Library Access, ILA for short. Can you all hear me? Please note that we will be preparing an actual progress report that will go into greater depth than I will here today, and the report will be posted in January. And up here is just a brief overview, as I said, of what I'm going to talk about today. And I thought, because I'm first, that I'd just go over what a print disability is. Print disabilities prevent people from reading standard print. They can be due to a visual, perceptual, or physical disability, which may be the result of vision impairment, a learning disability, or a disability that prevents the physical holding of a book. Canadians with print disabilities require publications in multiple formats, such as Braille, audio, large print, and electronic text. They may also require assistive technology to meet their information needs. And Ryan here is going to go into some great free stuff with AT2 that helps people do that. Assistive technology like screen readers and screen magnifiers. So, what's the issue? More than 3 million Canadians, 10%, have a print disability and require information in multiple formats. And that number is only going to grow as the population ages. However, less than 5% of published Canadian material is available in multiple formats. That's 1 in 20 books. Think of the last 20 books you wanted to read, and only one of those was available in a format that you could use. What you don't have then is the freedom to choose. This choice is something most Canadians take for granted. It's simply inequitable. So, to help address this inequality, the mandate of ILA is to create the conditions for sustainable and equitable library access for Canadians with print disabilities. To do this, by March 2010, Library and Archives Canada will develop and cost a strategy for implementing nationwide partnerships, activities, and services. So you ask, what is equitable library access? It's providing public library-type services to Canadians with print disabilities, comparable to those received by citizens who read conventional print. Why the focus on public libraries? Because while you're in school, from K to 12, and all through your post-secondary education, the government and schools provide you with materials in multiple formats. But the moment you leave school, you're completely cut off. If you are visually impaired, you can still get some materials from a charity CNIB, but if you are learning disabled, like me, you get nothing. And the majority of print disabled people are learning disabled. So public libraries are the obvious resource for service. What are some of the ILA key activities? There are about 4 of them. The first is developing the strategy to provide advice to government, which will be informed by consultations with stakeholders. An internet portal, library service standards and training materials, and the electronic clearinghouse for multiple format production. You can get more detailed information on all of these things on our website. It was also in the spring newsletter of NEADS. Love NEADS. So I'll just go on to some progress. We've been actively meeting with our stakeholders. We're talking to everybody, Canadians with print disabilities and consumer organizations like the Alliance for Equality for Blind Canadians and the Learning Disabled Association for Canada, and so on. Public libraries and associations, publishers, multiple format producers. But most importantly, we are listening, and we're listening very carefully to what they are telling us. For example, consumers want mainstream library services. They want universal design, and above all, choice. Choice in their reading format. But my favorite quote is from a librarian in Toronto who said, short and sweet, give us guidance and give us money. I will also be listening very closely to what the other panelists are going to say today, as well as your feedback. We're always listening. Standards and training. We're developing service guidelines, training materials, and workshops for the provision of equitable library access for the use by libraries across Canada, in consultation with the Canadian Library Association Working Group that was established just to work with IELA. I'm very excited about this because we're working very closely with the working group and have plans to develop all kinds of tools for libraries and library staff, even a training DVD. I'm very excited about that. The electronic clearinghouse, which enables publishers to make their electronic files available quickly and securely to producers of multiple formats, is being enhanced. And this will reduce delays in issuing alternative formats to users. We've done a review and analysis of the pilot project that was conducted and revised the standard license agreement between publishers and producers so that it incorporated the recommendations made in the pilot project, and plans to add new publishers and producers are in development with the Canadian Publishers Council and ANEL, the French equivalent. I won't try to mangle the French to read the full what ANEL stands for. And while the Clearinghouse, or while IELA is an initiative for public libraries, the Clearinghouse assists many producers of alternate formats for students, like SILS, where Ryan works. Studies. We've been doing lots of studies. We conducted a survey of Canadian public libraries to determine the degree of service and collections being offered to clients with disabilities, and discovered lots of gaps and holes, which we're going to try and fill with our strategy. We contracted with Turner Riggs to study commercial audio and digital publishing in Canada. And this publishing study is extremely interesting because no research has been done on the Canadian industry until now. So it's cutting edge stuff, guys. And the study will be posted very soon on the website. We've also commissioned a paper by Christine Oliver, a cataloging guru, that will discuss how the cataloging rules will affect access to library catalog records for multiple format materials so that you can find what you're looking for easier. We've also commissioned a paper to report on the current status of the library book rate and the possibilities of expanding the regulation to include multiple formats. We just commissioned that, so it's not on my slides. And all those reports will be posted on the website, so go to the website. Next steps. IELA is committed to work on all of its activities, including the development of a fully accessible portal that will serve as a gateway for information and resources for and about the provision of access to information for people with disabilities. For more information, you can contact us anytime. If you wish to comment on any of our work or just have a question or want to find out more, please don't hesitate to contact us. We also have a public listserv that you can join, and we post on that listserv anything new that's been posted to the website, just as a reminder for you. So thank you very much.